everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Party Chat. We are a variety podcast that covers all sorts of fuck me. I don't know.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. We'll use shenanigans.
Yeah, and we're
We cover
really
all sorts of that.
in
My
the head.
name's Josh. I will be hosting the podcast tonight. We have with us. That's where you say
Spencer?
your name, Spencer.
Okay, let's try that again.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say my name, and then I was just gonna say hello.
No, go ahead.
I am Spencer.
Hey, I'm Nate.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Sevy.
Tyler.
I'm Brent.
Mike.
and that's Mike.
Okay, just making sure.
I got really confused. Mike starts with M. Zep's the.
Yes, I can see where the confusion would lie.
Alphabets are hard.
Yeah.
Alphabets are hard.
Yeah.
So I
only
want
have
to
to
start.
name.
I want to start this this very first podcast off with a super serious topic. Goichi Suda, age 51. He's a lead developer for projects such as No More Heroes, the game where you took a shit to save the game and recharged your sword by jacking off the Wiimote. He says the Switch the Nintendo Switch console is punk as fuck and wants to make another punk game for it.
I mean, he's right.
He's not wrong. Yeah.
What the fuck makes the Nintendo Switch punk?
Have you not seen his haircut?
I mean, I was
Baldur's
unaware it had
beautiful.
hair.
You grab
Yeah,
it
Baldur's- yeah.
in multiple places.
Yeah.
I mean,
So grabbing something in multiple places makes it punk?
It's mobile. All
I mean-
punk people are mobile.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a really convoluted way of saying it's something entirely different.
I mean,
No, wait. I got it. The Switch has a kickstand. In popular punk music, people are kicking around while they are playing and or skanking. There you have it. It is punk as fuck because it has a kickstand.
Right.
Also, it is portable. That's important to note because punks like their skateboards, so they can use it while skating.
Okay.
It's like a 90s cartoon.
What I find funniest about this is that he's 51 years old. He's a lead. No, he's a project developer. So he's a developer that just leads over things, right? A director. That's the word I'm looking for. A project director. Who's 51 years old. A small Japanese man who's saying things are punk AF was the quote.
I mean, maybe it's just so anti-establishment with its lack of TV that you need.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that. Yeah.
I think this guy is the Japanese Henry Rollins.
That's true. Did you guys hear about PewDiePie?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he
Wait,
apologized.
what did he
but
apologize for this time?
He apologized. He
White supremacy.
Oh,
No, he dropped the N-bomb
Yeah.
during a stream, yeah.
so this is beyond the anti-Semitic stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
this is-
no,
yes.
this is his second or
Yeah,
third fuck up this year.
Yeah, this is like fuck up third. I think third fuck up.
I mean,
Yeah.
that guy has a lot of money, so he's probably okay.
He really
Yeah.
doesn't care. I don't
The only
think.
thing they're worried about though is the YouTube ad revenue is going to take a hit again because of another fuck up from one of the poster boys.
Well, I mean,
it's
he
just
is
kinda-
the poster boy.
And
Well, I
He's-
mean-
he's the world's most popular YouTuber. He's got 57 million subscribers.
here's a question for you. If I remember correctly, it was the developer of Firewatch
Yeah,
that was
Yes.
the first one to come out against it. And
Yeah.
basically,
Sean Vanaman.
was that his name? Okay. What they kind of consulted a lawyer, and they were able to basically show that even though it's fair trade to use gameplay material like PewDiePie does for revenue on YouTube, that the creator can still come in and pull it down. But yeah, there's a lot of YouTube creators that you were saying were nervous because this shit's not going to fly anymore.
Right. Also, he did say, I saw he was quoted as saying that he has no problem with other people using it. Like, he sent over 2,000 keys for Firewatch to different people to review and whatnot. So he has nothing against it. It's just people being complete fucking idiots.
So,
I mean,
Oh yeah.
so
I don't know
so-
how many tries they're going to give PewDiePie to like redeem himself and apologize and stuff before somebody finally just acts it. Because, I mean, personal opinion, I think the guy is pretty immature, and I don't watch him. But that's just my take on it.
His appeals for 12-year-olds.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a very preteen audience.
Well, in the legal side of things, Campo Santo is the developer for Firewatch, and as soon as they got wind of it, they issued a DMCA for all the content of their Firewatch videos on his channel to be taken down, and they took them down immediately. Right. So the big thing going around right now is people that are defending PewDiePie saying that it's being used, the DMCA is being used as a censor tool for censorship. Like people saying things that developers don't like, so they're just gonna, kill your revenue on their video.
Well, they would take that to the absolute extreme, but at the end of the day, the dude is saying some insanely offensive shit. Any intelligent business would not want to be affiliated with that, and they have a unique situation where they are able to issue DMCA and separate themselves basically in a mitigating factor. They're performing damage control, and they're well within their rights to do so.
Yeah,
But
I think
the extreme push, calling it censorship, that's insanity. That's the vocal minority being stupid as usual.
I think the thing with this is like, I could see where it's going in that direction, but like at any point, any one of these rights holders or property holders could use DMCA guidelines to take down any of the content that's on YouTube, because it's all probably violating their right to use it. They just allow it to exist, but when you use it in a way they don't like, I mean, if YouTube's not going to do anything about it, then they have to step in and issue these DMCA.
Yeah, and these people basically
take it down.
Market the game for them, so why wouldn't they?
Right,
But
and that's the thing too. Is there's like a handshake between developers and content creators right now that basically says, you can use our game under fair use, even though it's not really fair use, because you're just putting a little bit of commentary over, our gameplay. You couldn't upload an entire movie without obtaining licensing rights, and just go, oh wow guys, that was crazy, what do you think, and then post it to YouTube and monetize it. The kind of handshake agreement that they have right now is that your 10,000 views is going to increase our sales rather than you making that little bit of money off of 10,000 views. It's not worth shutting it down.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate.
Yeah.
And when you violate that pact, and then it actually becomes then damaging to them, because your opinions or views or whatever he wants to call them are actually going to hurt their sales.
And he wasn't playing Firewatch, obviously, when this happened. He was streaming some other game.
Yeah,
but
he's
still,
streaming PUBG.
But it's a weird
Right.
situation, because he's got like syndication with like Disney and some other companies. So
I
it's
don't
like,
think he has
okay.
syndication with them anymore. I think
No,
they dropped
he
it.
doesn't anymore.
Yeah, they
pulled
dropped
after
him.
the-
They pulled
him. Yeah,
after
they
the
dropped him.
anti-Semitic thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something real weird here, and I'm never, ever, ever going to make this analogy in my life. But YouTubers like PewDiePie, you can almost compare them to NASCAR drivers. Hang in there.
All right.
Because, I mean, you think
the
about
long
it, their
haul.
cars are plastered with like 50+ sponsors. If they do something stupid, there's 50 people that are like, nah, fuck you. It's the same thing with YouTube. You have so many developers giving out these keys to test all these games. If you do something stupid and something major happens from it, it's going to domino effect. Those people are not going to want to be associated with you, and they don't have to be. They're giving you those keys for free.
Yeah,
So they
I
can
mean-
easily withhold the key from you, and if you try to, buy the game, but they can't post that content if you piss people off enough, because it's bad press. It's not good to be associated with these people.
Right, and fair use falls under that gray area because nobody's actually taken it to court. So I mean, like armchair lawyers and people, keyboard warriors, and all those people will tell you what they think.
Yeah.
But until it's actually like going before a judge and a precedent has been set, there's no real black and white. It's all a gray area.
Well, there's definitely stuff out there, and it comes down to the monetization of whatever content you're putting out, which is clearly happening. So the whole argument that it's fair use and that it, like, I mean, a good example is the Goldie Box situation, where the Goldie Box Industries used a Beastie Boys song to market in one of their commercials. To which the Beastie Boys brought them to court and said, well, we've stated publicly that we don't want anybody to use our music for any commercialization or marketing in any way, shape, or form. And they had to pull it down. Even though they probably, quote unquote, had a fair use argument, at the end of the day, these rights holders take these people into court. The judge or the court's not going to take a second thought on it. They're going to side on the right holder side.
Right, because I mean, it is copyrighted material.
Oh yeah. I mean, anytime a creator comes up with something like that, it's going to be hard to argue against them.
And the interesting thing that's starting to happen too is YouTube is getting more restrictive on the type of content that they're allowing on their platform. So, for example, people who are hosting vulgar content or even games that have violence in them are YouTube is decreasing their reach out there,
and they're not letting them get ad revenue off of it either. If I read
they're
that.
demonetizing videos that, I mean, you can still post them, but you're not going to make money off of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So decreasing the incentive.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I know, I've seen quite a few people that swear in a lot of their videos and people don't want to sponsor them anymore or switching to Patreon. Try to increase that monetization. It's a smart move. I mean, if I was doing it,
I think what you're
absolutely,
seeing
I would turn to that.
is YouTube as a company is growing up. They made their early revenue off this kind of unheard of thing where users could generate content that nobody else had. And now YouTube is getting to a point where they've got a lot of money and they can start investing into like streaming NFL games or broadcasting the news. And I think we're going to start to see the whole of YouTube grow up and start producing like what you would consider cable-friendly content.
Oh yeah, and I mean they're starting that with what they started YouTube TV. Was that last year?
TV Live, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Now.
Yeah, YouTube Red. So yeah, and I think on the whole, it's probably a good thing.
Oh yeah, they have to. I mean, with the rise in Netflix and Amazon and everything, they have to.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's the tides are turning in that industry now, which it's about time.
Crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's been a long time that YouTube has held the king of being the only source of videos where you can go watch people do stupid stuff or whatever you want to watch.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's nice to see them trying something new. I'm actually interested to see where they go with this kind of mature aspect.
Speaking of something new, what's everybody playing?
Infinity.
Oh, right now, if we're starting at the top of the list here, right now I am rocking Destiny, just rocking it.
Oh yeah, for everybody this is our
only-
first episode, so nobody would know. Spencer is our console man.
That's me.
At this point in time, he is on the Xbox One and PS4, while the rest of us have ascended to the master race.
Here we are. Here we are.
Yeah,
Man, I saw that coming.
So what's going on Destiny, Spencer? Let's hear it.
So I mean,
for those of us that are waiting for the good version to come.
Beside the
oh,
Nazi
ouch.
armor, what else is going on?
Other than that was exclusive for Destiny 2 was Nazi armor, so that was one of the big huge additions
It was
to
the
the game.
console
No,
version.
I can't believe that was a thing. Anyway, no, I'm really loving it. It's a whole new. I mean, it's more Destiny. There's no getting around that. But there's more of everything. There's more to do. I've put in, I think 36 hours, something like that. I know I'm about a day and a half or so of gameplay in the past week. So that's pretty great.
Yeah, because it launched on the 6th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yep. It launched on the 6th.
Last Wednesday.
So you pretty much put a 40-hour work week into it.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I mean that first day, I beat the game after the day it came out, and that was so I played 2 hours at midnight, and then went to bed, woke up at 9, and then I beat the game around 6 or so.
And by beat, you completed the story, right?
Completed the story,
Okay.
right? And then they've got. Did any of you guys play? I know Tyler did DLCs. Who all played DLCs that were involved?
I
a
played
couple of them.
I skipped the first one. What was the second one?
King. Wait.
Yeah. Taken King.
Taken King?
No, it wasn't. No, I take
was,
that. It was not. It was the Prison of Elders.
Okay, no, I didn't play that. I played Taken King.
Taken
And
King
Cast.
when they had a lot of cutscenes. cinematic. The whole campaign's like that. They did a really good job with really super well done cutscenes. A lot of with some other, the word is, so I've been listening to some other people talk about the game, and basically they're like, it's not as serious. I think a lot of people, I don't know if they expected it to be serious after playing games like Horizon and stuff like that. I found the story fine. It was entertaining. I mean, it's not a Last of Us, or it's not that dark and gritty storyline, but I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm just kind of on that gameplay loop right now, getting my light level, or well, it's now known as power level, as high as I can. And then
What's your power level at? Is it over 9,000?
It is close. Close. 282 currently.
Wow, that's really close.
Oh wow.
Yeah, real close.
Like
Really.
I mean, I've heard
Crohn's,
I've heard rumors of like the raid being around like 280, because isn't the Nightfall strike at like 260 right now?
So to unlock it is 230. 240 is the recommended level for Nightfall.
Okay.
And then the raid there were rumors it was actually 260. It's actually 270.
Okay.
For the first raid, though I watched some streamers going through the raid today, and I mean they're all right around 300 in that ballpark, and they were struggling.
Oh wow!
It's perfect.
So
I mean, it's got to be perfect
That's good.
execution.
So it's all like the first raid
Yeah,
The Vault
execution.
yeah, and everyone's saying it. I mean, these guys I was watching. It's by far the best raid. Like, there's nothing anywhere close.
Good.
From a mechanic standpoint. From what I gathered, from what I was watching, because I was watching at work as well, they added and this is even just in the normal raid. This isn't what they now call the prestige level, is the harder difficulty instead of hard raid. You have respawn coins. Everyone's got one. And for each section of the raid, you can only, so it's not you being revived having a token, it's you reviving somebody else. And each section you only have one coin to use.
Oh, wow.
So each person, so when you run out of tokens, the team does, you can't keep reviving people. Which made things pretty interesting. There's a couple I mean, so through the entire thing, and this is, I'm not going to do spoilers here, obviously, but there really is only one boss in the whole thing. The rest of it's all just really super hard encounters in each of the sections, and there's lots of puzzle solving, a lot more puzzle solving than any other raid that there's been.
Now I know that a lot of us, I mean all of us here have played the beta when it was out on PC and on Xbox. I did both. Is the boss of the game the dude in the beta?
No.
So the big dude that kicks you off the cliff
No.
at the end, that's not the boss? Is he just one of the tough encounters?
He's clearly a romantic interest, Fox.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, it's still, this really
I can
isn't
see the love in his eyes.
It's your destiny.
I'll see you down there, big boy.
This really isn't a spoiler, but they, I mean, I'll tell you who it is. It's
Spoilers.
No.
Wait, is it a wizard from the moon?
Do you not want to know? You guys, do you not want to know?
No, I
No.
don't want to know the main
Yeah.
boss.
Okay.
I want to know in 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is my buttery smooth voice not 60 frames?
Your voice is fine.
The voice
but-
is fine.
It's
But
just
you've
when I
only
see your
seen the
face, it's
frame.
just 30 frames. It's just
And
I don't know.
I played the first couple hours on console.
50 tops. I don't know.
The ears can't see more than 24 frames per second.
The ears can't see. That's a human fact.
Oh, God.
You know, and some of the other differences between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 are like you don't get the Sparrow right off in the beginning, which is good. It does take
Fuck that.
things
Give
a
me
little
my
bit.
bike.
It does take things things take a little bit longer. But you aren't just zipping past everything. Like you're actually enjoying and seeing the world that's been created.
What if I
You
enjoyed
also the
zipping
worlds
past
are also well. Sorry about your luck.
Fuck.
You also, because the worlds are huge. I would say the Earth area is probably about the size of 2 of the planets of the last one in Destiny 1.
Sounds like a lot of walking.
So
Yeah.
well, but everything's laid out really well. It's just far enough to where you're okay to walk it, but you're not gonna venture off too far. And that means when you do get your Sparrow later on, you have so much more. It feels like a whole nother world that you're finding things constantly that you had no idea were there.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, I can dig that.
You can actually get a Sparrow beforehand as a before you hit 20 as a random drop. It's just really rare. I heard some people getting it around level 15, 16, but
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, seriously.
yeah,
Can I
no
bring
joke.
something up real quick about it?
Yeah.
I wanted to, because I played the first 3 hours on console, and then I decided to wait for the PC version as well. But I really want to acknowledge the music,
Oh, it's incredible.
especially the first couple hours, because Destiny 1, though good, was kind of very samey. And with this new one, you can tell they really stretched out what they were going to do musically.
Well, really, what it was is Bungie was terrified about the Halo comparisons with Destiny 1.
Yeah.
So they changed things wherever they wanted because they were afraid of getting sued and a whole bunch of other stuff about things just being too similar. So with this one, they really just said, screw it. They've got a lot of orchestra,
It reminded
Marty
me of a Dark
O'Donnell
Souls
type
game.
music. Sure.
It
Yeah, I
reminded
can
me
see
of a
that.
Dark Souls soundtrack. It was very grand and calculated. Like the music was just very good. On top of the gameplay, I mean, it goes without saying for a Destiny or Bungie title that the shooting is going to be good.
Yeah, the gunplay is
Let
insane.
the shooting commence.
The shooting begin.
The one controversy they have going right now are the shaders. Have you guys heard about this? The shaders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've heard it's awful.
I mean, it's really not. It's really not awful. It's not terrible. I have currently, because I am actually playing this as we do this. I currently have. Let's see here. Rows of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have about 80 different types of shaders
Fuck.
currently. So there are ones that I only have like 3 or so of, and obviously,
Yeah,
let's see,
that's what I
helmet,
heard.
arms,
It's
legs,
hard,
fly.
it's super hard to get the rare ones enough to put on all your gear.
Which there's some that are pretty close to each other that everything matches up really well. So like if you have 4 of one, and then for like your class item, there's some ones that are really close that you can't even tell there's a difference.
Wait, can you buy shaders with money?
That's the controversy.
And they're
is
single use?
Yep.
That's some bullshit.
Oh, they piped
Do they apply to your whole character,
You
or
don't. No, it's per item,
Per single piece of gear.
piece.
What's the cost per shader?
There is no cost. It's a random draw.
do you have to buy loot crates?
But you can get. You don't have to see every single. They are called what they're called. Bright Ingrams, I believe. That. So with silver
Fucking
from the
Ingrams?
Eververse, yeah, from the Eververse. I don't know if you guys remember the Eververse. That was the merchant that sold the dances and stuff.
Yep, the Carlton.
Well, yep, the Carlton or the Elaine.
Yeah,
Little
the
kicks.
yeah.
Damn, I
Yeah.
really missed a lot.
Yeah, you did. They could have had a DLC, a raid just around the Elaine dance. That would have been great. Anyway, so they have these Ingrams. So you buy silver, you can buy packs of the Ingrams if you wanted to, and then you have they're all cosmetic items, different like designs on ships, emotes, and then like shaders and stuff. Or every time you level up, when you hit 20, you get one. you get an Ingram. So you can earn everything in game. You don't have to. I'm like I said, I'm getting tons. I have 80 plus.
Okay, but here's a question. You have a super rare one, and say you put it on your gauntlets or whatever, and you can't take them off, though?
No. Yes, so don't do that.
But you go through gear so quickly in that game. Towards the end,
not
obviously,
end
so
level,
stuff
not in
comes-
the end level,
Yeah,
right?
that
So
makes
don't
sense.
do it until you get to your end gear. I mean, I've had the same shader.
I mean,
Well,
or
I
do.
really
It all
like-
just depends on what you want.
Right. I really like the gear that I have, and I've just been infusing it up and up and up since about 250 or so. So I am keeping the same gear. So I have my shaders on all my stuff, and I look like a boss and just living the dream. It's just there's times where you want to switch all your gear. What I'm assuming is, because I don't know if anyone's seen exotic shaders yet. I would not be surprised if they have some exotic shaders that are unlimited use.
That would probably make sense.
Yeah, that come from the raid or something like that.
Right, which I know it's not in this, but there's a way. All the shaders you can get out in the world, literally all of them. You just need to know where to go. So if there's a specific one you want, you can just go and get more.
That's cool.
Get more to drop.
Okay, yeah, that makes more
You
sense.
just have to find. I have to
Farming for
figure out where
shaders.
they're at. Yeah, but
That seems
Hey,
like
I'll-
shit.
well, you don't have to farm for spin metal or any of the other materials.
Oh, I'm
Anyway.
Do I
sold.
have
We're
to
going.
run around Mars for 8 hours to get 9 pieces of iron?
Oh, fuck that.
10 out of 10. Destiny 2, game of the year. Guys, we're done. Wrap it up.
I entirely forgot about that. I think I'm going to go ahead and cancel my pre-order.
But anyway, I'll shut up about Destiny 2, but it's I'm really excited.
I think
for you guys.
I think we're all excited to finally play it. I know that
Yes.
I've been having a hard time avoiding Let's Plays and shit like that. I'm sure everybody has. Because I just really want to see it. I really want to see it. But I also, if I see it, then I'm gonna know, what to do and where to go and find secrets and stuff. And then it's not gonna be an authentic experience. You know what I mean?
Is there a
Right.
loot cave?
Supposedly somebody did find one.
Yes.
Week
Loot
1.
cave.
It's gone now.
Cave,
Though.
for shaders.
Fuck
Yeah.
them.
That's guaranteed. Yeah, if you wanted a loot cave, you definitely had to buy on console. There's no way that was sticking around for PC.
Yeah, well, we'll find our own loot cave.
Well,
Yeah,
they
it's
actually
gonna
have
be a loot cave.
What it was in this, so it wasn't like Destiny 1. They have what they call lost sectors in this game, and they're marked with a symbol on the map, but you
Spoilers.
can't actually, it's not spoiler.
No, I
You
know,
can't
I'm
actually
just
go
fucking
to them. But there's like caves and stuff you go into that have enemies, and there's a boss in there. Once you kill the boss, there's a chest that opens. And there's like dozens on every planet with these hidden like areas to go to. It's
Sounds like it's gonna be a ton of fun.
I wish somebody else had it, Ryan.
I'm showing amazing self-control by having it literally installed on my Xbox and only playing it once in the past week.
That's right. You and him, you guys are sharing games, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to cut that out. Jesus.
Yeah. Microsoft can't know.
Got him. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Cut it. Just put a beep there. Beep.
I'm calling Microsoft right now.
What are you playing, Josh?
Earmuffs, Phil Spencer. Earmuffs.
Me, I'm still stuck on Overwatch, man.
Anything new to report from that front?
I'm super excited about the Mercy changes that are coming through, or maybe coming through. They haven't hit live servers yet, but on the PTR, Mercy is just insane. I've got between PC and console, because I started on console and I moved over to PC about a month and a half back. But between the two, I've got about 1,200, almost 1,300 hours into the game. So it's I have the attention span of a gnat. So for a game to do that in just over a year is insane. Like I don't understand the simplicity of it. That is just, it's a team-based objective shooter, and obviously
What?
you have
Overwatch
classes
is
and
a-
stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, I know, mind blowing.
Whoa.
And I mean, for for the simplicity in that, for the same, however many maps it's got to play for, 1,300 hours. When I played WoW for 4 years, and I don't even think I put that much time into it. So I mean, it just keeps bringing me back, and I don't really understand it. But Doomfist is a piece of shit. Reinhardt's still broken. Roadhog, he's a little bit better now.
Good.
Diva's a big bitch. Zarya's a lesbian. We all know that. We all know the game.
Yeah.
So they made the changes to Diva, right? Where like, what were the last changes they made to it?
It's not live yet. I don't think,
okay.
anyways. I haven't been on in a couple of days, but at least not since Tuesday, when is usually patch day. So I haven't been on since then. But Diva's supposed to be getting these mini missiles, and her defense matrix is going from 4 seconds to 2 seconds with a longer recharge time. It's to make her less of a your job is to hold right click and absorb everybody's projectiles while she's a super boring hero to play right now. And when your defense matrix isn't up, you just hold right click because you never have to reload shotguns.
Exactly. Do you see the team comps changing a lot after she gets her nerf?
After she gets her nerf, I think so. Only because she's a terrible tank at this time. I think this might be the change that for all of you Overwatch esport fans might change dive comp. Her and Doomfist being nerfed and Mercy coming in if she does get the changes that are on the PTR. I think it'll really change dive comp. It'll bring back more of a traditional comp with like a Reinhardt and that sort of thing. But I mean, Overwatch is really old hat right now. Unless you're really into the World Cup, which I mean I am, but it's been narrowed down to 8 countries, and
Do you have a date for that?
I'm super excited. It's November 3rd and 4th at BlizzCon is when
Yeah,
the
my
playoffs
birthday.
start. Yep.
Oh, that's a great birthday present.
It's no Halo release, but it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy can dream.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I've been playing that. I've been playing a bit of everything. I mean, like I said, I have the attention span of a gnat, so my Steam library looks like somebody just splooged a bunch of $2 games all over it, and
That's because you did.
that's because I did. I literally jacked off
$2 games or
G2A.
$2 hookers?
I
Yeah.
literally jacked off G2A and just bought a bunch of stuff. Humble Bundle too.
Yes,
They're,
that's
they're a
a
real
great
good
deal.
toy.
The
That's a
humble
great
bundle.
But I mean, what I really like about our group is that we play so many different things. Like Nate, you play a lot of Rocket League.
Yeah.
What's
Just a little. He's just. a little.
What's your playtime on there?
yeah? How much playtime you
I've
got?
actually, let me double check. I think I just
gonna
crossed
check
my
that out.
threshold of 1,000 hours.
Oh, God.
Yep, I have 1,001 hours into that game.
Fuck you.
Congrats.
That's
It's
not
a
a
fun
congrats
game.
situation.
I think everyone can agree it's a fun game. Most of us that have played it.
Yeah, I got
Um,
346 hours myself.
There's a couple of us that can agree it's frustrating as all hell.
This is
It's-
true.
They
I
announced
can,
a new update.
I can agree with this because I get the same way when I play Overwatch. It's frustrating to play with you because you get real angry and competitive.
I do. I hate it. I don't like it. But I'm like right on that cusp of Plat 3 and Diamond, which is basically a step below Champion. So like I don't know.
which
I just
is
get
which
mad
is
at
like the
myself.
pro level, right?
Yeah, so I just get upset at myself for doing stupid shit all the time. Where I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna. There's a ball. There it goes. Goodbye. I missed it. It's just like fuck, man. But
Yeah.
I think anybody that gets competitive in games like that can kind of heed the same notion that it gets frustrating. You just hate it, but it is what it is. I've been
A
trying to take it
game
seriously
that
lately.
has taken over our group, actually not our group, but 2 of our members here, that I just don't understand because there's way too much to it, and I'm dumb. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. Stellaris. I know Tyler and Brent and Mike play some Stellaris too, but I looked at people playing it, and it just looks like they look at like a screen that's got some Venn diagrams on it, and They click here and they're like, "Oh my God, my synthetics! They have a synthetic disease." And
Well,
get
let
it.
me.
Yeah, can we? I'm still
me
not
tell you.
entirely sure what the game is. If you can
I'm
run
not
me
sure.
Go ahead, Tyler.
give me the basics.
Do you
I'm still
like-
stuck on Venn diagrams. Can we go back to that real quick?
Actually,
Do you
it's not
like-
Venn diagram. The
Do you like
territory is not
spreadsheets?
crossover.
I love spreadsheets.
I
Go
love
on.
No.
You are gonna love this game.
Yeah, this sounds
I
awful.
honestly-
Sounds like a
I-
bad time.
I have 87 hours in the Stellaris, and I couldn't tell you what it's about.
Oh my God.
I have 46, and I'd have to agree with him.
I have
So,
yet to finish a game. It's a lot like Total War. I don't know if any of you guys have played the Total
Oh,
War
yep.
series.
I've
Yeah.
played Total War.
oh,
But
I
have you
love
ever finished a game of Total War?
once?
No?
Joking
no.
too.
I've
No.
200 hours in Stellaris. I have not finished a
You have
single
200
game.
hours in
How is
Stellaris?
that possible?
Because
how's
the
that
game's been out for like a year.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
so
not talking about
long.
how's
Oh
it possible
my
to have that long? How's it possible not to finish the game? What is stopping this game finishing? This is
It's
blowing
that
my
deep,
mind.
and the games are that fucking big. I'm serious. This is huge, and it's deep. It's awesome. Every feature is polished and has
Yes.
a purpose to it, and it has
Right,
depth
right,
to it.
right,
And
right.
the best
But
part is,
what is Stellaris?
it's
Grand strategy game.
yeah, it's a space strategy game. Basically, they give you a map that's legitimately a galaxy, 1,000 stars. Each star is a system. It's got planets, moons, and whatnot. You're an empire. You're in that system. You recently just reached spacefaring technology, so now you can go out and colonize new planets and whatnot, along with every other empire in that universe. And so you're trying to establish territory and carve out your section of ownership in the galaxy, and you're running into all these different government types, different ethics, different traits, different alien species, races, whatever. I mean, they're so vastly different. And basically, it's this small scale galaxy simulator. And there's warfare, there's economics, there's population management, there's tile management, like the old Galcivs. They were pretty cool with that.
Yeah.
It's
I have a
awesome.
question for you, because I've heard you and Tyler bring this up. Do you make your own civilization?
You can.
Oh, yeah.
You can create
Okay.
custom races. It's amazing.
So yeah, when you're talking about like you're making a Roman something,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tyler
it's Tyler's Roman Space Empire. It's awesome.
yeah, which is I think really cool. Again, over my head, I'm a dum dum.
Yeah.
But
I made,
the fact-
go
My
ahead,
favorite
Tyler.
part about the game is, as a RPG nerd and somebody who loves story and like creating my own worlds, the best part about Stellaris for me, hands down, I wish the Total War games had this because it would be insane, is the race editor.
Absolutely.
Because you get to pick, I mean, not only what your people look like, but you can add a bio in for them, and then you pick their governmental ethics, you pick their traits, so you can really custom tailor a race that fits around your playstyle, but also build them in a way that fits a story. So when you go into this universe, all those screens you're staring at have like purpose and meaning. So
Yeah.
okay, cool. I mean, so don't let PewDiePie play this
so
game.
like yes, basically. But I made so my Roman Star Empire, just as an example of what you can do. I made a Star Empire that assumes Rome never fell, and slave trade rose, but they were all like really competent fighters because for the years until they were able to get into a spacefaring race, they just had the slave trade and gladiatorial games, and that's what the Earth was until they got hyperdrives and were able to start exploring the stars. And you go out with that context, and that's how you approach your diplomatic situations and your colony expansion, and even how you manage your population tiles. So like you can like, I want to have slavery, and they only have these rights, and you can actually forcibly move people around to different planets, and it's
oh wow.
Yeah.
So how much is this?
Go ahead.
How
Tyler.
much is this? How much is this automated? Like, are you selecting everything that you want to do, or you can stronghand them to do things, or do they have like they go out and do their own thing under some certain parameters you set?
You control
like-
everything except like actually you control everything. The population on each planet, you can actually set rights to if they can reproduce or not. So that way you can control certain
No, that's
Yeah.
accurate. A lot of it is kind of you're setting default rights and default settings for certain things, like your faction, your empire. You have policies. There's a policy screen, and you set
course
things
there
like
is.
bombardment types. You can annihilate planets when you go to war with people. Purge rights. If you run into another species in your territory who has not yet reached, they're still in the Bronze Age. You can set a policy on what level of interference you're going to, bestow upon the biggest one being enlightenment, where you actually elevate them to spacefaring, and then they become one of the new empires in your map. And then your tiles in your planets, basically they have certain resources that these certain tiles are really good with. Like this one will generate food, and this one has mineral bonuses, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of manual setup with your planets while you get all the tiles situated and your populations are growing and they're populating these tiles. But ultimately, in the late game, you're not so much focusing on planetary management so much as you're focusing on war and diplomacy and actually messing with the other factions in the map. So it balances out really nicely.
Well, I think for somebody that doesn't want to micro, I think the sector system is really cool.
It's awesome.
Because you can basically like paint.
I really
an
hate
area of
micromanaging
space.
stuff.
Yeah, and that's
Like
what
I
the
played
sector...
City Skylines for like 10 hours and I hated it.
Your population also died at the same time.
You're gonna have a,
Yeah,
you
well,
would
I
have
had
a
a
bad time
plague
in
come through,
Stellaris.
yeah.
Is the short answer here.
Yeah.
But sector space is really cool because you can paint out a section of the galaxy that you control, and you can just like pick from a list of things like I want them to focus on energy, I want them to respect my resource tiles, and then like every so often you collect taxes from that sector, and you could really just, if you wanted to, focus on like 3 planets that you micro and leave the rest up to automation, and then focus on building your fleets and getting into engagements.
So this is an RTS, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I
So-
Zerg rush people?
It's actually, unfortunately, that's one of the main complaints of the game. I'm wondering if they're going to address it. But one of the chief complaints with this game since its launch, because every time they do a huge update, they take some portion of the game and they do these massive rewrites and rebalances, and it always ends up to be exponentially better than it was when the game released.
Yep.
But the one they haven't touched yet is the war system, because right now, basically, the best way to win, there's 2 ways to do it, is raiding, where you're just nuking all of their resource gain, all their mining stations and resource stations until they eventually just run out of stuff trying to fight you. And then the other part of it's called doom stacking, where you basically you take your naval capacity and you just max it out. You build as many friggin' ships as you can afford to have at one time. You create this super fleet, this insanely, ridiculously, unfathomably large fleet, and you just doom stack, and then you just waltz around, just blowing shit up with that fleet. It's kind of like Zerg rushing. There's not really a strategy to it. You're basically just trying to get the most corvettes in a fleet and then the biggest fleet power you can, and then you just go point it in a direction and tell it to go play. And I'm hoping they touch that because right now it's kind of the only way to war.
I'm hoping they
in the
touch
game.
you.
Yeah, me too. But the
Heyo.
cool thing is that it's kind of cinematic, kind of like an endless space, where once fleets engage each other, you have customizable ship blueprints in different ship classes, and you build these ships out, and then you build the ships from those blueprints, and then you watch your ships duke it out with these enemy fleets, and it is a cinematic experience, and it's actually pretty good looking. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it looks like a lot like Sosa in that standpoint. The ship combat does. I don't know if you guys ever played Sins of a Solar Empire, but the ship combat's pretty similar.
Yeah,
So
I really
Tyler,
want to get Stellaris.
Do your
So-
guys wear togas? The Romans?
I wish.
Don't they have a toga you can put on in the species creator?
I don't think there's a toga. There's like 5 or 6 different costumes. Toga's not
There's
one
like a
though.
I'm
bed
sure there's a
sheet.
mod for it that you can get for Toga.
I'm about to get it. All right, that's what I'm doing after this podcast. I'm going to get a toga mod.
But I do have a serious question though. It sounds like you can obviously enforce your rules on this galaxy, but does it always go that way, or does like people
God, no.
just attack you
Oh,
They'll
randomly?
attack you.
And shit will
Yep.
just
They'll
happen.
attack you.
They're
There's also
they're
I mean,
Oh,
how many
sorry,
more
I'll tell you.
systems do you want us to bring up? Because
yeah.
I mean,
Good Stellaris talk.
this isn't a Stellaris podcast. and
No,
but
I'm
I
mean, just-
falling
It really
asleep
could
mean-
turn
over
into one.
over my vodka here.
Put it this way, Severn. The galaxy in this game, it's not just straight on my empire versus your empire. That galaxy is working against you all the time, and it will throw you curveballs on the regular, and they are big ass curveballs.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's always
Tyler,
interesting.
I mean, I've known you for years now, since high school, and I I mean, you really like to get into games and get into character, and to the point where you kept a journal for Skyrim and stuff like that, and
I did
that
do
takes
that.
up a lot of time, and I also know that now, being a single dad, how has gaming changed for you?
Uh, it's definitely hard to. I mean, I have to change the type of games that I played, definitely. And the time that I have to play those games is way less. But I typically will game in the evening after he goes to bed. He's got a pretty regular schedule, or he goes to bed at 8 p.m. So I'm typically playing from 8 until way longer than I should. And usually don't feel very good in the morning. But you kind of get used to not sleeping as a parent. But I mean, overall, like I've been able to find the time for it and get through a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I think the move to PC has actually been helpful as well, because I can kind of just pop into my office after he's gone to bed and just kind of focus and spend some time on it. And Stellaris has definitely been the kind of game that really sucked me in and allowed me to do that.
Right. So I mean, games that don't require like a ton of like intense focus at that moment.
It really depends. Like, so if after he goes to bed and I'm gaming, I can kind of play whatever, and can play some of those types of games. But when he's awake, like my Xbox, really since I moved to PC, like I used to have like Elite Dangerous and Grand Theft Auto and those types of games. But now like I've converted it into like games that I can play while, like, if I need to step away for a minute, I can. So I've been playing like FIFA, and I downloaded Rare Replay again. I have Zoo Tycoon, so that's super cool.
Oh, fuck, dude. You can teach him about animals.
Zoo Tycoon? Is he watching you?
He does. He actually likes watching.
Did you show him what happens to gorillas if they mess with kids?
Oh, we haven't gotten that far yet. That's next week's lesson, I think.
Rip her
no,
on
that you and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
Do you have Discovery Channel?
Yeah, so I downloaded a bunch of, like, I have Magic card game on there. Like, I have probably 60 games installed, and they're all games that you could very easily step away from. Like some of the Telltale games, shorter bite-sized content that I can play for 15 or 20 minutes and then go make lunch or change a diaper or all that fun adult stuff.
Here's another question though, and I know that Mike had wanted to talk about this too, is like gaming addiction. Like we play games so much, like this generation in particular, like I don't know anybody that's still got cable that doesn't just, like watch YouTube or doesn't just play games all the time. You know what I mean? How much gaming is too much, Mike? I'd say none.
I mean, I can honestly not answer that question, but I do get in trouble with my wife quite often.
I mean,
Becca, get out here! You forgot to eat.
Is that what you bring to your food, Mike?
That sounds pretty
I wish I
accurate.
In
could
trouble all the
forget to eat.
time.
Why aren't you having sex with me?
I mean, come over
I think
here.
a good answer is when it starts interfering with your actual obligations in life. That's when you've
does.
been playing too much.
Yeah,
But look-
I think it also has a lot to do with.
Are you calling a wife an obligation?
As a man who's about to be married,
As a man who's about to be in the doghouse.
yeah.
He's starting off real nice.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie's probably gonna be one of our first listeners, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
Can we play this podcast on? Wait, I'm just kidding.
That's not a good idea.
I think a real
That's a great
element
idea.
to whether or not gaming becomes an addiction is how you're using gaming. So I think if you're using it to unwind at the end of the day or for entertainment purposes, and you just generally enjoy it and have fun with it, and it's a hobby, I think that's fine. But I think, yeah, what Ryan touched on is if you're ignoring obligations, but more importantly is if you're using gaming as an escape method or as escapism, and you're not dealing with underlying anxiety or depression or something like that, and gaming is allowing you to remove yourself from that and also perpetuating the problems by not dealing with them, I think that's when you have an addiction on your hands.
Here's
You're
a
right.
question I have. When I lived in another part of the state, about 2 hours away. I was dating this girl, and I was working 2 jobs at the time, and she got mad at me because I told her that at the end of the day, when I came home after working both jobs, I'd rather sit on the couch and just chill out and watch a movie or play a video game. And I didn't care. Like, she could come over and stuff. Like, if she was there, that was cool. But she got real mad at me and we ended up breaking up over it. Is that an addiction?
That sounds
think-
like a bitch.
I don't think it's
She was kind of a bitch.
No, I don't think that's an addiction so much as how we were raised. I mean, we were kind of raised in a weird economic point where things were on the downturn. I mean, my parents alone foreclosed on a house and stuff like that. So, like, honestly, I think video games were kind of the
For the
Not
listeners,
necessarily-
we're all in our mid to late 20s. There's only one of us that isn't in our 20s, and that's the single dad. And he
Yeah.
just turned 30, so he's old
Shut
as fuck. Sean, the old guy.
yeah, and we're all mid 20s, early 30s.
You know, I live in a van down by the river.
That's
But
when you know
it's-
you have an addiction.
It's kind of that economic place that we grew up in where, yes, our parents went out to the bars, they had fun, they did all this stuff and whatnot, but
How do you think you
We-
were made?
dude, I don't want to talk about that. I was definitely a fucking. My mom's birthday was almost 9 months to my birthday, so
Ew,
I
you
know
were
what happened.
birthday
So,
sex.
I was birthday sex.
I was
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, it comes
You
back
are-
to that, like, video games, you can spend $20-$30 on a video game, and I mean, it's Tyler and a couple other guys I know. When we played Skyrim, it was just like 6 months gone. Like,
Oh,
we were
fuck,
just so
dude.
engrossed
like
in
when
the game.
We were roommates.
Yeah, but you can also burn $20-$30 a night at a bar too.
Exactly. So
So-
you pay $30 for Skyrim, and you have 6 months of this enjoyment where you can come home, you can just relax, just go into this another world where you can just do whatever you want to do. And
kill
especially for
children.
me,
Yeah, you can.
well, yes, you can, mods.
Oh,
Um,
Mods.
just like I showed you earlier today.
Everything will be
Is that
counterpointed
a
with
crab
mods
with a
from now
monocle
on.
and a mustache? Let's go, Master Chief. This is too much.
But yeah, no, you're right. And yeah, but I
Yeah.
think it's actually financially responsible to play video games.
It
Yeah,
is.
and it's just that
And it
culture
can get
we're
it
raised in where, like, going out wasn't an option. Like, we couldn't afford to go out to the bars. We had to find another way to enjoy ourselves and do some fun. And I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
we had our share of field parties and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I mean, that was kind of like a once in a blue moon kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And even in college, I mean, it wasn't for a lot of us, or in our early 20s, we went out to the bars consistently. We'd go out probably once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and even so, after graduating, I'm sure you've got, way too much money to count for college debt and whatnot. And I know a couple other people do. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just- that
I don't
whole
want to talk about it.
that situation is just it culminates into a whole nother thinking of, like, oh, I have to do everything financial crunching. Like, I can't spend this, I can't spend that, I can't buy this. So why don't I buy a $20 video game that's going to last me 3 months? We think about more things ahead of time than we do about the then and now.
oh yeah, agreed completely.
That's just my take on things. I mean, that's the way I have done it the past probably 5 years. I mean, I've always thought about that. Like, what am I going to get the most enjoyment out of? I love games. Let me do this. And that's why my Steam library has 76 games in it right now, and most of them are bought on the Humble Bundle.
And just to be
Understood
clear,
by your lack of commitment.
just to be clear, no
I
one
think-
here is against drinking. We're all currently drinking as we do this.
I
What?
actually need to go get another one.
Really, all I got from that, Nate, was that your mom was super pumped about hitting 26, her taxes going down, and then poop. Nate. That's what I got.
You're not wrong.
Poop name.
And then she drinks too much and she cries at my bonfires. So that's
And that's why I came. It's not.
Oh,
That's not a
boy.
full story, actually.
it's not.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh,
Years
man.
ago, never forget.
Good.
And childhood ruined.
Also, my underwear was up on the flagpole.
What?
Oh, also good. It was
That is
like
true.
salute your shorts.
No, they were. I had American flag underwear, and we didn't have a flag for the camp we made, so we hoisted my underwear up.
Didn't you throw
Nice.
a T-shirt
Nice.
into a fire one time?
Yes, I did that
There's
as
been a
well.
lot of things thrown in the fires. Sarah
Yeah.
Farmer
Like
Shoes
my
went up a
hopes
fire
and
one time.
dreams.
Yeah,
I think there's multiple times.
yeah,
I do
absolutely.
actually believe a ping pong table wound up on fire one time.
Nope,
That's a
that
good
did happen. That did happen. Yeah,
I'm impressed.
man.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought of while you guys were talking was, we live in a day and age where kids can actually, grow up and aspire to be, professional gamers. At this point in time, professional gaming, like esports communities with like Overwatch and Rocket League and Dota and League of Legends and all these big games, they're huge. Like, I mean, myself personally, I'm an Overwatch guy, and so I follow the news pretty closely. And, we're watching Sinatra, a kid that is 17 years old, just got signed to an Overwatch League team for $150,000 a year. A 17-year-old making $150,000 a year to sit on his ass and play a video game. Now, with we touched on gaming addiction. Could it be mistaken for aspiring to be the next Sinatra or Taimu or Siegel or any of these giant players out there? That they actually have a chance to be this person. Now, obviously, it's not as big as like professional sports like NFL, MLB. Because people there make. Matthew Stafford, he's the highest paid player in the league, $135 million. Zillions of dollars.
One pride.
One pride.
Go
And
Lions.
that sounded racist.
Roll Tide.
And
Wait,
Fuck
what?
you.
Brian, get out of
I'm
here.
sorry. Yeah, one Brad.
But doesn't like a Dota tournament get more viewers
yeah.
than like
Oh,
some of the
God,
major
yeah.
sporting events?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it
Absolutely.
like over $6 million this year
So
for
I
the
think-
Dota 2? Or
Honestly,
Invitational?
I can check real quick.
I feel like in the esports space right now, like these kids are being exploited because the business ethics haven't caught up with the fad yet.
Right.
But I mean, to the point of like, is it gaming addiction or are they training to be talented at something? I think again,
look at South Korea.
I think it comes down to what the purpose of playing the video game is. I think if the child has like, which this is tough because it happens often in the teenage years. Like if the kid has like major like anxiety and depression issues and they're using video games to escape that, and they're not really focusing on an end goal and they're just like hopping from game to game or like even in MMOs are notorious for this because you just get
Oh,
sucked into
God.
this other world where you just like your social life becomes interacting with the people in that game, and like at a certain point you just stop playing the video game and you just start commiserating with other people that are like in your same position.
Yeah.
So-
Commiserating is a
Especially
good word for
the
it.
Power thing too, because like if you become powerful in an MMO and people are like, oh, you come do this and do that, it can get in a kid's head.
Yeah.
Speaking of MMOs, what the fuck is with MMOs lately?
They all suck.
That was
Makes you feel bad.
That's a terrible segue.
That was an awesome segue. Thank you.
What's with everyone?
I rode that segue in.
Speaking of which,
I'm calling them out.
yeah,
Fuck
busting chops
off.
today.
Episode 1.
MMOs
That
today.
is. I'm lucky I got a segue. This is fucking episode 1. Fuck off. Current state of MMOs.
Back
That'd be
to-
a
What the
segue.
fuck?
Okay, before we bounce out the MMOs, the total prize pool for Dota 2017 was $24,700,000.
Fuck
Clutch,
me.
dude.
I'll
First
never
place
make that
team
in my
alone
life.
split $10,862,000.
Yeah, and
Woo.
that's all backed off of microtransactions. Like
Yeah.
nobody's putting
Yeah.
that money
Oh,
up. That's
Nope.
people who play the game
Oh, yeah.
sponsored that.
It's incredible, and when you have a following like that, like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that
Also-
amount of money is unheard of.
To answer Josh's question, what's up with MMOs? They're all garbage.
They are
All of them.
all hot.
Like, I jumped into WoW. Like I said, I played it for 4 years, and I had top level characters, and I know that you guys have played a lot more than me. But
I may or may not have failed out of college because of Burning Crusade.
and see, that's a gaming addiction.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
We did it,
6 years
boys.
of my life.
Pack it up. But so I played for 4 years, and I jumped in right after Burning Crusade launched. Right, so I was over with Ryan and Nate at Ryan's house, and they were playing WoW on their laptops, and I was like, "You guys are fucking dumb. This is great." And
R.I.P.
they're
my
like, "Download
fertility.
the download the free
GTX
trial,"
98.
and I was like, "Fuck you! I'm not downloading this shit. It's bullshit." And then I downloaded it, and my life was gone. But
And there goes 2 years.
and there goes 4 years,
And a college education, apparently.
and Tyler's college education. But
We need to start a GoFundMe page for Tyler.
I jumped in right after BC launched, and it got like I played a little bit of vanilla, and then all of BC, all of Lich King, and then it just turned to shit. What the fuck happened?
So I played a lot of Burning Crusade, and the reason I left WoW was so vanilla WoW was a whole other animal because you had 40-man raids, and like people could be sitting in a corner jacking off, and it didn't matter because you only really needed like 10 people to beat any of the raids in vanilla WoW. So Burning Crusade like largely remastered the raid system, and they lowered the requirement to 25. But it required everybody in the raid to be doing what they needed to be doing. So, like, if one person was out of position, it could wipe the entire raid. And then you spend 15 minutes yelling at that one person. So it was a really high-stress environment, but it was really rewarding. And I remember sitting down and reading boss strats in Burning Crusade going, how is this real? This isn't real. There's no way they made this. And like the level of enjoyment you got from clearing a raid though was incredible. But the problem was at the end of Burning Crusade, as they went into Wrath of the Lich King or Frozen Throne or whatever it's called, I can't remember. But they started, they released Sunwell, which was the last raid before they went into the new expansion, and they started selling gear at vendors for badges that you could get out of heroic dungeons. That was better than the end level raid gear. So
yeah.
It just killed that whole, like, I went into this monster raid, I spent 3 weeks mastering it, but this scrub over here spent 5 minutes in a heroic dungeon and has better gear than me. It was really off-putting. And I understand they were trying to open up accessibility, but it just really ruined the experience.
And they did play to the lowest common denominator on that.
Severin's headset died. I just want to point that out.
Bye-bye!
They did kind of fix that whole deal in Lich King because when Nax Ramus came out, like, I love Nax Ramus because my
Spoilers.
guild was
Fuck
one
Max
of
Ramus. Spoilers. Fuck you.
A decade ago.
fuck off. My guild was the second on our server to clear Nax Ramus. Like, I think it was 12 hours after it debuted, we cleared it. It took us almost 7 hours, which is hilarious to laugh at now because, I mean, you can go to Nax Ramus and probably
Why the fuck are you
solo
calling it Nax Ramus?
Yeah.
Nax
What,
Ramus?
what do you want me to call it?
I don't know.
Max?
I'm pretty sure I've always heard it called like Nax Ramus or something. Fucking
I've always
Sonic Ramus, you know?
Nax Ramus.
I was called Nax.
Naxxramus?
Norman Reedus?
Norman Reedus.
That's the
And
correct
the one
You had to
fight
fight
that sticks-
zombies.
The one fight that sticks out to me in that, Tyler, when you go back to how in the fuck do we do this, was the Hagen dance.
I was going to
Because
point that out.
Holy shit. When we first got to that boss, we had no idea. We were like, what the fuck is this? The floor keeps moving and there's fucking shit everywhere and we all die. What do
Yeah.
we do? And then
Yeah.
eventually we figured out where there was a pattern to kind of go to. And we're like, dude, there's no way that like people upstairs in Blizzard were just like, yeah, this is a good idea.
That's how
We should do
how
this.
I felt. Like the Archimonde and Illidan fights in Burning Crusade were just like, who comes up with this shit? There's no
Yeah,
way this like 30-minute encounter is for real. And then it was. And you wipe at 29 minutes and you start over.
And that's exactly what's wrong with MMOs today. Is there's literally no creativity. It's all just like
Yeah.
it's just a hack and slash of what used to be into
Well,
a new
I
game.
actually-
They're like, we're gonna do all these new things, and then they don't.
I was
And it's
watching one
the
of my
same.
favorite Twitch casters, and he spelled it out like very. So like, this guy and I like, we played the same game. So like, when he talks about this kind of stuff, like I can really relate because he also like I grew up playing EverQuest. I lost a lot of my life playing the original EQ. Like I got into it. I went into high school and like picked up EQ. And EverQuest was a different age of MMO. So like you lost experience when you died. So that meant like if you raided for a while and you wiped a bunch of times, you would eventually de-level like 4 or 5 times, and then you'd have to spend another week grinding out levels so you could go back into the raid. There wasn't really any quest givers or hand holding or trails to take you where you're trying to go. And then like World of Warcraft was cool when it came out because it was something totally different. Like it was like kind of the new age of MMOs. But then everyone else tried to make World of Warcraft instead of EverQuest, and they became like theme park MMO. And it was like you just go to a quest giver, and then a trail shows you where you need to go, and then you kill a thing, and you do that a bunch of times, and then you're max level, and then there's some end game stuff. And unfortunately, every MMO has turned into like a theme park where you just hang out in a world with a bunch of other people that you don't really play with any of them.
Yeah.
And it's missing that social experience. And that's why like I'm really excited about Pantheon, because that game is likening back to like EverQuest and Dark Age of Camelot and some of those older MMOs that were more focused on the social experience. And if you weren't playing them with other people, you weren't progressing or probably having much fun.
Yeah, and I liked where WildStar was going when that first came out. I mean, I played the beta of that and went into the first month as well. And it seemed like a good idea. It had a really good community. It had a really good basis for questing and all that stuff like that. But I think they just kind of missed it with the combat in that game. It was kind of they tried to do like a weird kind of like pseudo Star Wars Old Republic kind of thing where it was like you could see where the damage was going to go and whatnot, and you could dodge out of the way and stuff. But it just became more of a gimmick when you got into the very difficult instances, because you're trying to do a certain thing and you have to be in a certain place, and then all of a sudden one of this moves comes into your place and you have to dodge roll out of the way, but dodge rolling out of the way puts you in the line of danger and you wipe. So it's this weird like finicky thing where it was like, this is an awesome idea, it could be really awesome, but you need to work on the
Severin died again.
AI side of it.
The telegraphing was cool. Like the telegraphing of the moveset was cool. Unfortunately, with WildStar, like another thing that comes into factor is latency. Because they built that more as a action MMO. It still had your hotbar and stuff like that, but we are limited by internet speed to a certain degree. They did player housing really well though in that.
That's
that was
what
really
I
cool.
loved about EverQuest 2, even though it was primarily hot garbage.
And WildStar actually had items you could put in your place that would give you bonuses once you get out in the world, which is
that's cool.
really cool.
Yeah, they did that really
and it was
well.
only stuff you could earn. It wasn't like cookie cutter buy it off the market stuff.
Yeah,
they had to earn this stuff, which is
or
really
craft, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, their crafting system was good too.
Yeah, EQ2 had a really cool crafting system where you could build like furniture and shit for your house.
Yep.
But I think, and not to take the talk all the way back to Destiny 2, but I think the most excited I've been for raid content was Destiny. Like when that first raid came out, it was kind of that same feeling I had back in the Burning Crusade days when raiding was hard.
Yeah,
I loved
we
it.
scheduled it. We set
did.
time aside for it. It was a weekly event.
It was a lot of fun.
And
That's
I
what
don't-
makes me
like,
excited for Destiny 2 for all
I don't
of us.
even know 25 people anymore, so to have a raid that I could do with 6 was pretty cool.
Well, we got
Getting
8
old
now.
sucks. Yeah. Getting old sucks.
That's why you got to teach your son to get good so he can
Says
play
the
with
guy
us.
who's 27.
The day
Yeah.
Oliver beats me in any video game is when I know I need to hang it up.
Hang
That's
up your
not true.
headset.
That's
I
not
don't need
true.
to hang it up. You just
Or
need to
pass
start
it
doing
on.
weird old things. Sunk.
Yeah, make him play.
What are you
make
doing?
him
My
play
taxes!
the SNES version of Super Street Fighter and just hit select all the time.
Write
And,
handwritten
you'll
letters
beat him.
and put it in the CD drive.
10 years back.
It's an
You'd be like,
email.
"Oh, guys,
By the
you
time
get the
Oliver's that
Farming
old,
Simulator
we
27?"
won't have CD drives. Like games will be beamed off our brain or some shit.
We'll have. Oh my
I
god!
don't
Did
know.
you guys see the video for the new Apple phone?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I'm
I
excited.
Luckily,
Yeah,
I
iPhone
found
X.
Not the
iPhone
One
X.
X. God damn it.
iPhone X.
Yeah,
Apple
you know what?
Stoked, man. I wanted to
Microsoft
spend
and
$1,000 on a phone.
Stop doing that. I want to spend a
Seriously,
cool
though,
1K
seriously,
on a phone.
I guess I really haven't noticed the increase in phone prices and shit like that over the past years, but like I bought the original Galaxy from AT&T. I bought it outright for $200. I bought that, and I was good to go for 2 years with that phone. And that phone did not fail me. I'd never had to send it in. I never had to do anything with it. Now, we lease phones.
Yep.
Because phones cost like $800.
Well, back in college, when I
like that's like almost 3 car payments. That's more than a giant house mortgage.
That's not. See, you're not leasing the phone. You're putting yourself on a finance plan to purchase the phone, but you're putting in an early termination clause, and for the carrier's benefit. That's what these new Next plans or whatever Verizon calls their bullshit. You finance the phone over a certain period of time, but then like with AT&T, I know you do the 24-month plan. At month 18, they'll say, all right, you can turn around and get a new phone. Hey, we're going to call it the early upgrade. Fuck yeah, get that next iPhone because we're doing it every year now. You just paid 75% of that phone's retail price, and then you're obligated to give it back to them. So they just got $600 on an $800 phone, and they got their $800 phone back.
Right, but I mean that's the nature of a lease too. I mean, when you lease a car, you're paying on it every month, right? And if you decide to keep it for the full term, you can then buy it, right?
Yep.
And all the
but
money
at the
towards
end
it.
of like the 2-year lease, you have to either give back the car or buy it. So I mean, it's leasing the phone.
But you're not obligated to, turn. I mean, yes and no, because if you stick it all the way through, at the end of the lease on the car, you still have to get the car back. You've paid your full allotment of months. At the end of a phone contract, you own the phone. You don't have to do. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. You can
Right, but I know, like
take
with
shit on it.
well, I don't know who you're with. I don't know who you're with, Mike. But the AT&T program, I wish. With the AT&T program, like I'm on a 24-month lease, is what they call it. And at the end of that 24 months, I have paid off the entire price of the phone.
Yep. You legally own that phone now.
I can keep that phone, right? So that's the end of the lease.
Yep.
Right.
Your line cost goes down
I'm
as
not
well.
right, and I'm not obligated to give that back to sign up for another lease.
Exactly.
Right. So
you'll stay on your non-contractual data line cost at that point, and your monthly payments are going to drop from like $50 a month down to like 15 or 20 a month, and that's just for the service you're being provided.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean,
so I guess that's just the way that they've done it now to kind of hide the cost of the phone going up so fucking much. Because like the original Galaxy, like I said earlier, cost me $200, and that was what 7 years ago.
But that was when they were also doing
7
contract or financed versus unfinanced as well, where you were paying that $200 up front and not paying a phone cost. Over the 24 months.
See,
The 2-year contract.
Yeah.
Through AT&T, it wasn't a 2-year contract. Like I didn't have to sign up for 2 years to buy the phone for $200. That original Galaxy just cost me $200.
Did it really cost that little when it came out?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Man,
it was insane.
I've reached old man status because I could have reserved a new Note 7 or Note 8 or whatever the number there.
Note 7s will kill you.
Well, anything.
This is the Note 8. Note 8.
Ryan.
Note 7s, they don't allow.
But I could have reserved that, and I
airplanes.
saw the MSRP was like $1,000, and I was like, I have better things to spend my money on. And
Oh, yeah.
I got
Well,
like
yeah.
a for 200.
Like a 1080.
I paid that is
Exactly,
1080
like
Ti,
computer parts.
sir.
Yeah. And I get the cost because
So I spent $250 on a year-old LG that works fantastic.
oh yeah,
I love it.
yeah. A lot of the cost of these
And I
phones
own
goes
it.
into the
I don't have to do
R&D
anything on it.
in the prefabs of it. I mean, they're so specific to what they're making for the form factors of these phones. The costs are going to skyrocket, and you're not going to see the performance increases that you're expecting for the cost.
Right. And what I hate is people go out and buy these new and better products and stuff like that. 6 months down the road, that phone's going to be worth half the price.
Oh yeah, it's like driving a car out of the lot.
Yeah.
Except your
it's
car
even
depreciates
worse
a
than
lot
that.
faster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem with like the direction of Apple, and I know like Steve Jobs set them up to be like the luxury tech brand, but without him at the helm, it's coming off with an air of arrogance, and like it feels like they're just kind of making products for douchebags.
I don't know. I feel like even with Steve Jobs at the helm, God rest his soul, that it came off with an air of arrogance And
It was
I'm glad-
I'm glad the
Fuck
cancer
people.
took him.
because
But-
it used to be like
Jesus fuck, dude.
Tell us how you really
Good
feel
job,
there,
Zach. Have you ever
Ryan.
read his book? Have you read his book?
No.
He's
I
a
mean-
fucking prick.
Well,
Yes,
yeah.
I
And
have
see,
read
and
the
that's
book.
that
Oh,
may
yeah.
be
Have
why
you
I
seen
got
his
this
turtlenecks?
vibe. But I always felt like it was always like Apple. We're the best. You have to wear a cardigan to listen
Don't
to
talk
an
shit about
iPod.
cardigans.
Leviosa.
Speaking of iPods, you guys remember Zunes?
Yeah.
Yes, I still have my
man.
Zune and it still
Still have
works.
them. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It does.
My fucking poop brown turd Zune.
Exactly,
It's
dude.
amazing.
I got the same fucking Zune. That thing's awesome.
We all have
shit,
that
Brian.
I
Zune.
have some pixels dying, but that's about it.
Oh, what the fuck?
How
you
old
do
is it
with
Your hard drive rattles too.
That's not important.
Yeah.
it?
If you pick it up and move it, it will vibrate on the
I think the
inside.
headphone jacket kind of.
Oh, God.
Nate, how old was that?
I got
Over a
that when I
decade.
was.
You were in high
That
school.
was.
That was in like
I think it was my
2006, wasn't it?
That was my. No, it was 2000. Yeah, it was 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
Holy crap.
beginning of your
11
senior year.
years.
So you're
You
telling
better
me
get married
11
before your
years
eggs
old.
dry up.
You still want to talk about video games?
no, eggs are better. I like the dried eggs.
Okay,
Eggs,
right,
yeah.
eggs. Okay, never mind, we're
Actually,
good.
I have something I want to talk about, especially to all of us now that we've arisen to the PC complex.
Ooh, what is it?
So
wait.
AMD has been talking their Zen 2 architecture, which is supposed to be coming out end possibly middle of next year.
All right. Hang on. I'm the newest addition to the PC Master Race in this group.
Right back to PewDiePie. Come on, Josh.
At about I said PC Master Race, not White Power.
9.
Rude.
And I have no idea, like, when you guys start talking like PC guru shit.
It's just a bunch of copper, dude. Don't
yeah.
What is
Yes.
Zen 2 architecture?
All right,
What's
so
that
it's
processor?
Ryzen. It's
Yeah, Ryzen.
Ryzen's
Oh, so it's the
architecture.
fucking processor I just bought.
Yeah,
Yes.
but this is the continuation of Ryzen. So basically, what they're saying
Is good, can confirm.
is the original Ryzen was a worst case scenario, which is weird for them to say, but being in a brand new architecture on a brand new node, the fact that the chip only overclocked to 4 gigahertz, 4.2, I think some people were getting on some of the higher end chips, that was their worst case scenario. So now what they're focusing on is their Zen 2 architecture, which is actually going down to a 7 nanometer die. So they're actually having what Intel and AMD are doing right now. And they're saying that some of their base clock speeds could start at 4.2, possibly 4.4 gigahertz. And this is on their low end chips. So I know, Josh, you have the R3 1300X, which is one of their entry level chips, but still an excellent chip for what it does. It's a good content creator's entry level chip for hyperthreading. It's got the 8 hyperthread lanes, the 4 physical cores. The baselines are really good. And the interesting thing about this is I think they're trying to keep the same price point for when they come out with their Zen 2 architecture. So you'll see the lower end staying around $120, $150, going up to the $220, $250. Now Intel has also came out with their 8700K, which is a 6-core, 12-thread CPU chip. They have actually leaked, well, they haven't leaked it, somebody leaked their shit, for benchmarks on the Cinebench. It is performing only 100 points better than an R5 1600 6-core processor from AMD. So we're talking a 100-point improvement for, what is it, a 7700K goes for $340, where the R5 goes for $230, and that's for the 1600X, which runs 0.4 gigahertz faster. So we're talking $110 price point difference and only a 100-point difference in Cinebench. I'm really, 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 really interested to see how the Zen 2 architecture takes off.
And I will believe that when I see it, just because I always refer back to Bulldozer.
Right, and the thing is I would agree with you, except we've seen Ryzen.
We've seen Ryzen, but those
the
kind
compute power is unbelievable. Like it will throw punches with Intel all day long for a much lower price point.
Oh god, yeah, no, their price performance is fantastic.
And if they can up the clock speed, because that's what really kills them on these gaming benchmarks for their single core clock speed. Is just that clock speed is too low for modern day gaming. And I think if they can really enhance that and get that focused in, I mean, I'm not a fanboy of either. I'm running an Intel 6600K. I got it overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz. It's a great chip. But if this happens, I will probably look to AMD for my next upgrade.
Here's a question: Did you see that article about how Threadripper was a backdoor project, unfunded project for a year and a half?
Wait. I heard a.
Yeah, that was
I didn't
me.
hear that. From
I'm
Mike.
gonna leave
What
this
does that
comment,
mean?
and Ryan-
What does that
Yeah.
mean?
It means y'all just need to stop being poor and buy a 7980 XE.
Damn it!
But I have a son.
If you don't have 18 physical cores, you're not doing it right. So that's it. That's where I'm
Fuck
going.
it, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
run a
but
server.
the only real combination you need is a 1920X from AMD and a 1080 Ti. 1920 by 1080, it just makes sense. You just
900 by 1080.
1080 Ti, making that resolution is 1080p.
I'll tell you what.
Dude, you went super southern on that. 1920 by 1080.
Oh, we broke Nate. He's done. Tap him out.
I have weird personalities. Don't talk about them.
Ryzen.
Hey, I can
I'm
attest.
resting in my panic.
I got this Ryzen 3 1300X
Oh, they're solid.
and
Yeah, they're good.
and a new Asus motherboard and some new RAM and a 480, and I'm sitting pretty right now. Like I don't really think I'll have to upgrade for another year, maybe two. Will I upgrade? Probably, because
It's an addiction. It's a
fucking
sad,
addict.
sad
absolutely.
addiction.
Oh yeah.
I'm
If you're-
optimistic.
If anybody listening is getting into PC building, know right now
No, nobody's listening.
what you
Dude, we're an hour and 24 minutes in. Ain't nobody fucking listening.
and now the depression hits.
You're
doing so well.
If
I'm
you made it this
optimistic about
far,
that.
you now deserve our true form.
Yeah.
It is true.
Oh God, no.
But literally,
I
if you're going into
imagine.
PC building, know
Bad
that what you
idea.
spend at the beginning is only like a quarter of what you will spend in the next 6 months.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
But
it's
we
bad.
started this,
Can
right?
confirm.
Spending money on hobbies. I feel like a comment was made there. And PC building is a hobby, and you should never feel ashamed to throw
No.
gratuitous amounts of cash and
Yeah.
accrue gratuitous amounts of debt in.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have a
No
no
one
credit card, you're
my
fucked
credit
up.
cards are maxed.
Open up,
it's
open
great.
up a new line of credit. Call Capital One. They'll
Call
approve
Capital.
anybody.
I'll tell you what.
Bank
I'll tell
loan.
I can run time
What's in your
wallet?
wallet? A new
Yeah, like-
graphics card.
40
Jesus.
frames per second. It's,
You know, here's the thing. If you're not doing crack cocaine or another hard drug and you want to treat yourself, treat yourself. If that's going to be for a gaming PC, go for it.
if you want to save money, don't get into computers. Buy crack cocaine.
Look.
Yeah, if you want to save money, black tar heroin.
I don't think that's true at all.
I think it's very true.
So glad we don't host any game content. We
Severin,
just
what's your
DMCA
experience
right
with black
off
tar
of
heroin?
Oh my god.
This is
Just saying,
Not
a
yet,
friend of
anyways.
mine.
drug conversation, please.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, yeah, black tar heroin, 1080 Ti. Choice is yours.
I drank
They
3
both have
black
a T
tars
in
last
them.
night.
You both
I
have to eat.
injected 4 pots between my toes.
Dude, I did a whole marijuana. How about that?
One whole marijuana?
Yeah, an entire marijuana.
Let's get
The
back on
doctor
track
said I
here.
wouldn't live.
Okay.
What games are you guys looking forward to here?
This
in the near
is the
future?
track,
No,
Brent.
This is not.
This is the
follow.
track.
No.
I did a whole marijuana.
That's a gateway drug. Moving
This
on.
is exactly the track that we're on.
What games are you guys looking forward
Where's
to?
my heroin?
In the track.
Speaking of tracks,
Josh, you're my
track
hero.
lines,
Track marks.
I think
where's my heroin?
I think we lost.
I
Brent
think
and I
we're
did talk about a game we're interested in coming up.
Okay,
we did?
go on.
Monster Hunter?
It's called
Oh, that game.
Monster Hunter. We're not going to get into because we're already
Oh
an hour
my
and a half
god,
deep.
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. What was the game?
Why?
Biomutant.
Why?
Yes, Biomutant.
So that is made by the couple people that did the
That
just.
game looks fucking
God damn
sweet.
it,
Bye,
Sevy.
Sevy. See you later, Severin.
A couple of people from Avalanche Studio that had left that worked on Just Cause 2, and
nice.
basically you're a little furry.
Why, though?
Why what?
Why'd they leave?
Doesn't matter.
Black tar heroin.
Just
Discussion
cause.
for another time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Konami.
dude, you burn in hell. God damn it.
All right, Ryan, continue.
No, yeah, you done messed up at A-Round. It's a game called Biomutant, and basically it's kind of got the skill progression it looks like of a Skyrim, where the action that you're doing contributes to the skill points you accrue for it, except instead of it
I
being
can
a
say
stat
this:
change,
it looks really pretty.
it does. You're a little fuzzy little mouse thingy with a sword.
Yeah.
That's
And
pretty
based
neat.
on what it looked like when I watched the video, based on the size of your character and how you build them physique-wise, determines how strong you are or what you're good at.
Yeah, just the fact that what you're fighting and what you're doing changes the actual oh, that word's gone. Physiology. Nope. One second.
Try again. One more time.
Physiology.
Physiology.
There we are. Nailed it. Really putting that 3 to use right now.
Wow, you just peaked all the levels.
So many.
Damn.
Rip headphone users.
Yeah, rip.
Oh,
I'm watching the trailer right now. This
Yeah.
So
description
the
just for anybody
physiology,
who
the
hasn't-
physiology of how you build your character can actually shape how like strong your character is, like how much he can carry and stuff like that.
no, like
How
his
much
actual
damage
physical attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his
And how
damage. I
fast you
believe.
are. I
Yeah.
saw a big difference with
Okay.
dexterity and strength type of
So
stuff.
don't skip leg day.
Yeah, never
Exactly.
skip leg day. But
So
like you
this-
can actually grow wings to learn to fly, and that's by actually doing activities that would contribute to that, or fighting
No.
enemies that have that ability.
Is that going to be a potential lawsuit with Foo Fighters?
Yeah. It could
All right,
be.
real
No.
quick.
Okay, I have a serious fucking question. So all you shut the fuck up for a second.
You should have.
I will murder you. Post-apocalyptic kung fu fable RPG with unique martial arts style combat system, allowing you to mix melee shooting, mutant military.
Kung Fury, the game.
I'm reading that description, and I want to take what you said about Skyrim open world, which sounds really exciting in this context. But for some reason, all I can think about is prototype.
Yes.
Mhm.
Except
Uh,
the
Bad.
thing again, yeah, that's a valid complaint. And it's,
Mm.
but did you watch the gameplay trailer, right?
It looks
Obviously, I don't
gorgeous.
have a hands. Yeah, it looks great. But the actual, like I said, the progression of it is based upon what you're doing. In prototype, you basically go around, you jump on some buildings, you rescue a guy, he gives you an
Cut
ability,
some
and your
people
arms
in
turn into
half.
spikes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a reason for why your character will look and behave the way it does.
Right on.
And to me, that's the interesting part about it, is your character is getting crafted and changing based on how you like to fight and what you like to do.
I'm gonna
Instead-
wish list this. I want to watch
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah,
This is
that's
cool.
one to watch. Again, we won't know more until that comes out, but I like Just Cause 2 a lot.
Oh yeah.
I like
Oh,
the
Ryan,
concept behind
I don't
it.
know if
think
you
it's
saw
fantastic.
today.
Severin,
as well.
stop dying.
Ryan, did you see today the news?
Is it good
He's
news?
in the party with us
It's
right now. Actually.
Good news, everybody!
What's that?
Concerned Ape tweeted today, it won't be a Stardew Valley 2 in concerns to another next project, but it does take place in the same universe.
Yes.
All he'll say for now, and he doesn't want to get ahead of himself.
I will say this right now to anybody listening, all 2 of you, maybe. Stardew Valley.
I got two listeners just from my job alone.
Yeah, I have 3 people who've asked to see this already. So
Okay, fair enough.
Listen, sorry.
Stardew Valley, indie darling of the century.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Absolutely. It's wonderful.
So good.
Oh, it's so good.
So at the end
So
of this
good.
year, there's a beta for multiplayer. Just
Yes.
I
so
want to put my dick in
Yes.
it.
didn't know.
The beta?
I want to farm dicks and sit on them.
I don't believe Severin, you're the only one here who hasn't played Stardew.
I have not played it. Nope.
You're missing out.
Starpoo Valley.
Yeah.
Find
Oh,
find it on
man.
G2A or
What is the definition and why do we play it?
You ever hear of
Give
Harvest
me the
Moon?
old slap and
Oh,
tickle.
Harvest
That's all
Moon.
I want.
We're going sideways really quick.
Yeah. Josh, make your drinks less strong, please.
No.
More strong.
We're not- This is like the end. We're at an hour and a half. We're gonna wrap this up soon, anyways.
Drink strong. Anyways, continue, Spencer.
So did you guys see the announcement for Fortnite that came out a couple days
Oh,
ago?
The
the
Battleground
Whoa,
thing?
whoa,
the 100.
yeah. So
Yeah.
anyone that hasn't heard,
Wait,
Fortnite has launched a mode. It's 100 players. It is
Battlegrounds mode.
it is Battlegrounds, open world, giant open world. Last person, you fly in on a plane, drop in. Everyone starts with the same gear, and it's just a battle royale. It's
Yes.
real. It's
It's
out
real.
and playable now.
God
You can play it right
damn
now.
it! I'm not looking forward to the amount of battle Battlegrounds clones we were about
Apparently,
to see.
GTA put out a
GTA.
I mean,
Battlegrounds
okay,
clone as well
GTA
that says it's better and more hectic and more fun than Battlegrounds.
Okay, well, I
don't
don't know
know.
that I agree with any of that.
I
but
actually read the opposite. That
GTA makes sense to have a mode like that, but the amount, like Fortnite, makes zero sense to have.
I would agree with that statement.
Like the only other game that I would allow to get away with a Battlegrounds type.
Battlefield.
No.
Call of Duty?
Nope.
What?
The
Halo?
Division 2.
Stardew.
Speaking of
Stardew.
multiplayer games, real quick. Speaking of multiplayer games, just announced today as well. Ghost Recon Wildlands Pi v Pi. Fuck, man. PvP mode.
Pi v Pi. That's something. I
We're gonna
could
go
get
Pi v
behind.
Pi.
Now, what kind of pies are we talking about here?
It's
How many,
Cherry
how many
apple?
desserts are you talking? Like apple and cranberry, or what's that?
It's open butt cheeks.
Okay, back to the real topic here.
What
PvP.
about pie?
All right,
No, I want to
so
hear more about PUBG Stardew Valley.
But Ghost Recon Wildlands, the PvP beta is going live next week. Supposedly it's going to be a 4-on-4, very open worlds. So, allegedly, quote unquote, people are saying it's going to be very SOCOM-like. That'll require a lot of talk, and I kind of hope it is like that. I mean, that'd be a lot of fun to be like a very tactical team, and there is going to be oppression and whatnot as whatever, like a not a perk, but more of an object that happens to a player. So that should be actually really interesting.
I think it will. The one thing Wildlands did extremely well was the gunplay and the character control. It's awesome. It's addicting. It's really fun, especially the sniping.
I've heard the game is way more fun with people.
Absolutely. It's
Would that
kind
be
of
from
boring
the
by
Jeff
yourself.
Grossman?
Yeah, and it is a standalone beta, so you don't have to own the game. You can just download this straight up.
Oh,
So
that's
we
cool.
can all download it. September 21st to the 25th it happens. So
but wait, time out.
So do you
time out.
start with?
That's when Age of Empires Definitive Edition comes
That's
out.
when
Uh-oh.
Synthetic Dawn comes out.
Oh god, so many games that probably nobody else cares about, but I'm excited.
you can start preloading it the 19th if that makes any difference.
No. Synthetic Dawn is the only game for me, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Actually, I just picked up Divinity Original Sin 2.
Oh, I was meaning to ask you about that. How you said there's a bunch of classes?
Yeah.
Is it
it's a
10
class-
hours of talking to NPCs?
Oh god, yeah.
Oh,
beginning of the
absolutely.
game.
That's Original Sin. You don't get that without Original Sin. But the
The
combat
class-
I did in experience. I mean, honestly, that's any action RPG at this point. The dialogue though is always really good. The way they did it in the first Original Sin was really cool when they implemented all the new voice acting and they did the reboot. Basically, I thought that was really nicely done. But no, the class system's pretty badass, Brent. They
is it like the first one where you can combine two and then change skills within it? So it's basically building your own class.
not combine two. It looks like you choose a single class, but you can customize your starting skills, and your skills I think are based on your your talents. I think they're called. I was playing one that had some earth magic talent, so I had some spells available to me because of that. I imagine when you level up and you spend points to learn new talents, you can then learn new skills. So I imagine at the end of the day, you can really do whatever the hell you want. It's just entirely based on how you level your character up. It's
Okay,
awesome.
yeah. That's the one thing I loved about Divinity Original Sin, the first one, is just the fact of how in depth the character creation was as far as skills and how you wanted to play the game.
It's pretty good. There's some basic looks customization. There's a bunch of different classes. There's different races. It's pretty cool. I actually spent a good amount of time playing around in there.
Did you say races? I'm sorry, it was.
Yeah. Humans, elves, dwarves.
They didn't have races in the first one, did they?
No, they didn't.
But-
Lizard people is one of the races.
Oh, cool. I saw that in
Yeah,
the trailer.
they're pretty neat. I think
Graphically, that game looks awesome.
I might have to
It's-
discard Shaman.
It's
in
gorgeous.
honor of, champions.
It's gorgeous, and I was running it at 200 frames per second. Obviously, I can't see that. I can see 144.
30 like most human beings.
24 my eyes.
20,
Yes,
24.
human eye.
Co-op still?
There is co-op. Yeah, I haven't played it yet
I'll
though. And I got a two coworkers. I'm gonna probably play it with this week, and so I'm gonna try to hold off from touching it, and then we're all gonna experience it together. But I'm impressed for the first few minutes I put into it. I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty badass.
I might have to look into that when I get back
Yeah.
from vacation.
It fully releases tomorrow. It's one of the very few early access games where they've had a schedule and a solid project management team throughout the entire process. And its release date is tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited for these guys. I think it's a good product.
Awesome.
So we are at about an hour and 40. I think it's about time to start wrapping it up. Any closing statements, like what we're looking forward to, what we really want to see out of a certain game title that's coming up? I know we've touched on the Stardew Valley multiplayer coming in December, the beta. One thing that I really want to see more on, that I'm super excited for, is Anthem.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
Good Charlotte?
I mean,
Wow.
no,
No.
Wait, is Anthem coming to PC?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthem and Monster Hunter Worlds.
Oh, Monster Hunter Worlds.
I'm so looking forward to both of those games. Monster Hunter Worlds, I know that I'll be able to sink 500, 600, 700 hours into.
Oh, easily.
And still be all right playing the game. But I don't know about Anthem. Anthem is one of those games that I saw at E3, and it kind of leads me towards the what was that game, Tom Clancy? The
Division?
The Division.
I got a Destiny 1 feel out of it.
I got a 2 human feel.
It gave me the Division feel, where they showed all these features and everything, and then when the live test came out, they were like, oh yeah, we'll add them eventually, and then they never got added to the game. So I really hope that Anthem lives up to that teaser trailer hype.
I think it will. I feel like they had a lot of core, like they had things in there that made the game just by watching it. I know they're going to be adding a whole bunch of other stuff. We had this discussion in the past about the lead designer passing away, and we were we were afraid that was going to change it. But from going through school for it, I've noticed
that's right.
The lead designer, they had the direction, but that game had a lot of core systems already in place. The only thing I could see changing is maybe the storyline. Like, as far as how the game is built, I don't think it's going to change much from that.
Yeah,
I am unfortunately thinking we're a little too blind in the way to actually really.
Yeah, I think like the question is, how early is Anthem, and was that just a FMV, or was that actually in world, in engine, etc., etc.?
I feel that was in world.
I'm a pessimist by nature. I hate everything. Everything sucks. But
like me.
Oh boy, is there a group for you?
Yeah. Right.
Welcome.
But I mean, I want to believe that was like in game. It wasn't just a rendered movie that they set up. Obviously, I know like a lot of it was gonna be pre-rendered and stuff like that, because if they have all those assets and all those systems already in place, why wouldn't the game be launching sooner, that kind of thing. But the pessimist in me says that it's gonna let me down, and I really don't want it to.
Dead game.
Yeah,
I mean,
yep.
I know for sure the one thing that we can all agree on here, I know for sure we can, the place to play will 100% be the Xbox One X.
You fuck off.
Go fuck yourself. Eat a dick. And on that bombshell,
I want to know what I'm looking forward to. I want to see what I'm looking forward to.
Let me know how your terribly upscaled 4K goes, huh?
Are you looking forward to getting married?
No, I'm looking forward to Half-Life 3.
No.
Allie's probably going to listen to this. Are you looking forward to getting married? No.
Half-Life 3.
I'd rather have Half-Life.
And that will be my
Go
answer.
Fuck yourself with
We
that.
all know.
Half-Life 3 is
3
never getting married.
Half-Life 3 is as likely to happen as the next Elder Scrolls game.
Don't even get me fucking started on the next Elder Scrolls game. I'm so tired of seeing fucking 11,000 iterations of Skyrim out there.
Get used to
It's
it.
coming to the Switch. It's coming to VR. There's this special edition Xbox
It's
One.
gonna be
you
mixed
can add mods now. It's a new game. It's not a fucking new game. I've been through that map up and down 19,000 times.
Here's a better question: have you been through that map
with mods?
I've seen that map with fucking crabs with top hats and monocles, Master Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I
don't need to see.
Oh, no.
Is there a hot coffee mod? Is there...
I'm sure.
I like how they just stopped him in his tracks. He's like, wait, what?
No, I've seen some things.
I've seen
Let's put
that
it that
map
way.
so many times. Like, I don't even care if there's a goddamn porn mod for it. Give me a new
every
game.
gender identity
They
has
are
a porn
making
mod in Skyrim.
There's a
Give
new
me a
game.
new game.
Bethesda's
All two of
releasing a
them?
game this year. They haven't talked anything about it. They said, "Hey, we're releasing a new game." Haven't said
Yeah, it's
Chances
not
are it's
gonna
a
be
mobile
Elder
game.
Scrolls.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
probably
Skyrim for the
fucking
iPhone.
Gems of War.
Yes, Gems of War. That's a game I can get behind.
Fuck off. Like,
And on that bombshell,
Fallout
you,
Shelter
Jesus
2.
Christ.
Oh, sorry, that was
I,
Brent. Let me get him
Yeah,
under
it's
control.
probably Fallout Shelter 2, which that
I'd play it.
game held my attention for about 8 seconds.
I played a
because
lot
I don't
of
like to
Fallout Shelter.
micromanage.
I mean, that's more than I last.
Nah.
Like, are you talking about the game or a personal thing?
both.
Yeah,
But
both.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm not looking past Destiny 2 at
Destiny
60
2.
FPS.
No,
so-
I think we're all
Yeah,
excited
that's
for
true.
Destiny 2.
That's true. We're all
Because
excited.
we all get to play again together.
for me,
All
it's
right, well let's
And
let's
on that
let's go
bombshell.
ahead and wrap this up before anybody else says and on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell,
This is oh good.
Too late.
This has been our first inaugural the maiden voyage of Party Chat.
But not the Titanic's maiden voyage. We're gonna avoid the
yeah.
iceberg.
Oh my God, Severin's back. Jesus fuck. How long do you
charged
think
his
before
headset.
his headset?
and on
goes?
that bombshell,
We'll
night,
catch
folks.
you guys next week.
have a good night,
Have a good
everyone.
week. Bye.
I love you.
Bye.